Today I'll be showing you guys how to create clean and simple short form content like the one you guys see on screen in just minutes using Adobe Premiere and Adobe stock video assets. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and open up Adobe Premiere. So once we go ahead and get Adobe loaded up, I'm gonna go over here to new project. I'm just gonna create a new project saying short form content, just like so. And then we're also gonna go ahead and just hit create. Now it's gonna go ahead and show you guys the import mode, which I'm actually gonna go ahead and import my video file and my audio file footage. Select both of those and we're gonna go ahead and hit import. Now, as you guys can see, it is imported into the timeline, but there is an issue. We're gonna be editing short form content, so that means we have to make our sequence 9:16. So the way that you guys do that is we go up here to sequence, just like so, sequence settings. We're gonna go over here and make this 1080 by 1920. Just like that. And I'm going to change my time base to 23.976 as that's what I film in on my camera. So we're going to go ahead and sync up the audio with our actual A-roll. So now that the audio is synchronized, we're going to go ahead and just do some basic formatting. Again, I'm going to go to the effect controls, go to scale. Now, if you have a newer camera model, this would be done for you, but unfortunately I just don't. So I have to do that. So now we're looking pretty dang good. I'm going to go ahead and just scale this in just like this. Just kind of getting the framing that I actually like. And to me, that looks pretty good. So now we're going to go ahead and color grade our footage. I enjoy color grading first. You don't have to, but it's what I really enjoy doing. So to color grade your footage, go to the Lumetri color panel. Now, if you have a LUT, this is where you could throw in your LUT. If you don't, then go ahead and just mess with the settings until you get a look that you like. Sweet. I like that LUT. And then I'm also going to go ahead and just change a couple things. So I'm going to turn the highlights down, the whites down like so. Maybe turn the highlights up. And then we're going to go to the curves. I like to kind of crush my highlights a little bit, just like so, and then kind of bring this up to kind of just maintain like that kind of desaturated filmic sort of vibe. And to me, that's looking pretty clean. And for me, that looks great. Moving on. So now, like the beginning part of actually editing is we're going to go ahead and start cutting up our footage. Now, me personally, I have keyboard shortcuts set up to go ahead and do this fast. So what I have my keyboard shortcuts set up to, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys. We're going to go to keyboard shortcuts, and then C is my razor tool. V is my selection tool, and X is my ripple delete tool. This is all personal preference, so you don't have to do it, but to go faster, it's what I enjoy doing. So to cut the video, I actually need to be able to hear, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw on my headsets. Okay, so first things first is I'm gonna go ahead and cut right here by hitting the C tool, selecting, and then just hitting my V tool, and then selecting this before, then hitting X to remove all of that dead space. And I'm just gonna go ahead and hit play and then cut where we need. Sharing your interests as a creator can be very difficult because you don't seem like you're providing enough value to your audience. Sweet, so I kind of end my thought right there. I'm gonna go ahead and hit C, click it, and then click this dead space as well. Select it, hit X, ripple delete, and then we're just gonna go ahead and carry on this process until we are done with the cuts. Okay, so now that our basic cuts are done, we're gonna go ahead and find some background music to add to our video. So the way that I'm gonna go ahead and do that is using the Adobe stock library. So what you're gonna wanna go ahead and do is go to the essential sound tab. If you don't have it over here or on your screen, go over here to the window and then go ahead and try to find essential sound. For me right here, it's checked off. If it's not for you, check it and then it'll pop up on your screen somewhere. I'm gonna go over here to the essential sound. I'm gonna go ahead and go to full screen and we're gonna try to find like a chill, atmospheric, maybe dreamy, maybe a little bit of an emotional sort of vibe. And then we're gonna go ahead and just do maybe relaxing as well. Just adding in a lot of tags because there's a lot to choose from. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And then also background music. To me, that sounds pretty dang good. We're gonna go ahead and just go full screen by hitting the little squiggle key in the top left of the keyboard. And we're just gonna go ahead and listen to these soundtracks and try to find one that we enjoy. Okay, I'm really liking this sort of piano sort of vibe. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go click these three dots right here and hit add to project. And what that's gonna go ahead and do is it's gonna add it to project, of course. So you're gonna see it right here in this sequence. And then we're just gonna go ahead and drag and drop this down into our timeline and kind of just place it where we like. So I'm just gonna go ahead and place it and then we're just gonna go ahead and listen to see how it's kind of flowing right now. And go ahead and exit out of this. Sharing your interests as a creator can be very difficult. So as you can tell, it's very loud. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is hit G and just go -25, just drop that gain down. Sharing your interests as a creator can be very difficult because you don't seem like you're... Maybe add it up 3 decibels.
Value to your audience. And that is
sweet. This is literally making me sound like a motivational speaker, and I'm here for it. That's really cool. Okay, so now we have our background music added. I want to go ahead and find a pretty unique overlay transition to kind of put into this video. I want it to be something simple, maybe just like a little film burn. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can find one. And again, we're gonna go ahead and use the Adobe stock library, which, by the way, link down below if you guys wanna go to check it out. We're gonna go to libraries tab. Again, same exact thing. If you guys don't have this tab right here, go to window, just go to libraries, click it, it'll pop up. And then we're gonna go ahead and just hit this little caret icon. We're gonna do search in Adobe stock. Once you click that, go ahead to the search bar and we're gonna type in some film burn overlays, just like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and be met with a lot of overlays, which honestly a glitch would be pretty cool. But honestly, for this video, I'm not really feeling it. Ooh, that's actually really cool. So this one, I think I see a lot of potential in. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is save preview to my library, because then it'll actually go into my library, which is pretty fire. But also, I'm gonna go over here, drag and drop it just like so. It's gonna download it into my project. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just double click this. We're gonna go ahead and try to find the section that we kind of want the flash to be. So like, I'm actually really interested in this sort of part. So we'll do something like this. We'll start here, kind of wipe to flash. And then I honestly think that's pretty fire. Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So now I'm going to just drag this into my timeline like so. Now I'm going to go ahead and rotate it to fit the vertical orientation. So I'm going to go ahead, do 90 degrees. And then I'm going to go to the blend mode and we're going to change it to screen. We'll go ahead and play it through to see kind of how this is feeling.
value to your audience. And that
Cool, so it's like a nice little flash transition, which is pretty fire. So because this transition's a little too slow for me, I'm gonna go ahead and right click, go to speed duration, and I'm just gonna maybe do 200. We'll see how that kind of looks.
to your audience.
That looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go over here to the cut, just like so.
To your audience.
And then maybe because it's so white for so long, I'm just only gonna do 2 frames like this.
And that is to your audience. And that
Sweet, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go to lighten. Let's see how lighten looks.
your audience. And that
Looks pretty good. Let's also go to difference, kind of just play around, see what's looking the best.
to your audience. And that
I actually really enjoy the different sort of style on this video. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just run it. Now, something else that I want to go ahead and do is because there's a transition, I want to add a sound effect. So that way the transition feels more natural, if that makes sense. Feels like it should be there. So we're going to go ahead and go to the essential sound again. And what's awesome is they have a music tab, but they also have a sound effects tab. And we're just gonna go ahead and look through the categories for maybe like a hits or like a UI, which I'm actually gonna go ahead, select transitions and interface. And we're just gonna kind of go from there and just sort of explore these sound effects. So I'm looking for sort of a click. So I'm gonna go ahead and just type in the search bar, click, and see what pops up. All right, that's literally actually perfect. Okay, so we're gonna use that. Push buttons 06. Drag and drop it into our timeline right here.
your audience. And that is a very
I really like the first one and it actually lines up perfectly with where I want it. So it's perfect. We go ahead and go to G and just do it maybe negative 10 decibels because it's a little loud.
audience. And that is
Maybe go a little bit negative 5.
audience. And that is a
Sweet. Now to me that sounds really good. We could even go ahead and add in some reverb by clicking this button right here. Go to creative and I'm just gonna go ahead and turn up the reverb maybe about like 6.
audience. And that is a your audience. And that is your audience. And that
And to me that just blends in really well. Okay, so now let's say we want to go ahead and copy and paste this sort of transition with the sound effects together. Select this, hold shift, select both of these, command L, and then that'll link these all together, which is really, really nice. And we could just go ahead, go through the video. We're gonna go ahead, select them both, command C, and then we could just go ahead, command V wherever we want the next sort of transition.
enough. Because if you're posting enough, you would there's not like this big
So we want to transition right here,
because if you've been
right here as well.
more, that way you give yourself room to explore.
Sick. Okay, so now we have our background music, our sound effects, and overlay transition. Yes, you'd feel free to add B-roll, whether it's your own B-roll or if you want to go ahead and get some B-roll from the Adobe stock library, you can go ahead and do that as well. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add B-roll to this video. I kind of want some clean B-roll, so I'm going to go ahead and just drag and drop this footage of sea waves into my project, just like so. So just drag and drop into my project bin. I'm going to drag it over like this, and I kind of want it in this area.
Be very difficult because you don't seem like you're providing enough.
So when I say providing enough value,
You don't seem like you're providing enough value to your audience.
right there is literally perfect, exactly where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of scale this kind of to where I think it looks good. Maybe move this over like so. To me, that looks pretty solid. I like that framing.
You're providing enough value to your audience.
Sweet. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do a little black and white action. Of course, this is totally optional. I'm gonna go to the curves, just color grade a little bit. So I'm really liking this sort of overlay and soundtrack. So because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and just license the cinematic film burn transition by clicking this cart icon right here. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and do the HD version. It's only 8 credits. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit next. Perfect, hit confirm, and then the video will be licensed for you super easily. And as you see, the Adobe stock watermark is gone, and that's because it's licensed. You're good to go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the last step for creating clean cinematic short form content, and that's adding in your captions. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is go to the text tab, just like this. We're gonna go to transcript. I'm gonna go ahead and hit transcribe just like this. Wait for it to transcribe, and essentially what this is doing is listening to the audio, and it's going to type it all out for you, so you don't have to do it manually like you used to. So we're going to go ahead and hit CC or create captions just like this. And then these are the options that I like to kind of change it to. Is the maximum length. I like to do 7. I like to make that all low, and then go to lines single, and then just hit create captions. And as you guys can see, it's created the captions. But for me personally, this is kind of not the vibe that I'm going for. So I'm going to go ahead and censor the text just like so. Maybe bring it down a little bit in this area-ish. That looks pretty good to me. And this is where you can change your font. Now I'm going to use Open Sauce Sans Black. I'm going to take off the shadow as well. And I'm going to make it italicized. And that's looking pretty dang good to me. You guys can change the color by going over here to like fill and whatnot. But I'm honestly just gonna leave it clean. And then real quick, where we added our B-roll, I'm just gonna go ahead and drag this over like so. And then also move this over. I'm gonna delete this, move that over, line it up with the B-roll. And I'm just gonna go ahead and select all of this. I'm gonna actually center it like so. And then I'm gonna change the color to, maybe we'll just do like a light red. I think that looks pretty cool. And maybe we'll even turn up the size of the font.
Providing enough value to your audience.
Okay, so now we have our reel completed. Let's go ahead and export the video. So what you guys want to go ahead and do is, I like to personally just set the in to out points. So I go to the beginning, I hit I like so, and then at the end I just kind of hit O. So if I did that, there you go, hit O for the out point. Go to exports. We're gonna go ahead and just name the video right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and name it, you know, simple reel style. Super easy. And then this is where it saves. So I'm just gonna save it to my desktop. And then we're gonna go to the video. We're gonna match source, make sure all this is checked. Go to more, maximum render depth, use maximum render quality. Now these are all in my own settings. Yours can differ. I like to do VBR2 pass, kind of sort of in that range like so. And then from there, you're pretty much good to go to render. So I go ahead and hit exports, and there you go. It's gonna go ahead and start rendering out your video, and you are done. But anyways, if you guys liked this video and found this workflow helpful, please leave a like, comment, and click the link in my bio to get started with Adobe Stock today. Save time, edit better content, and create more. Anyways, that's it for me today. Peace.